Jump cut.
Yeah, we're back with part 2. So we're going to just kick off with race 4, Potts and Ralphie.
Pemberley just went like a really good horse, so he killed him, and there's not much to say about the beaten brigade. And
what do you think,
Pemberley's
Michael?
Obviously a horse to follow.
What do you think Michael D might have been thinking at the time, going as fast as he was on Tough Hope? I would say nothing. He'd been thinking nothing.
A bit of a lawnmower effect on that horse. He's obviously finished. So I fell into him on Saturday, which was a mistake. So.
Doesn't that show you though that Spike runs early in a prep with older horses? Just make you go, all right. Yeah, you're welcome all through. All right. We're just chatting away.
Sorry, very
No, it's all right. But that Moonee Valley time was so huge.
Thank you guys. Yeah.
When that's right. He pulled back volcanic ash.
Yeah.
And he was flat at Caulfield, and I was captain on side too, and said, "Oh, you probably think he was going to bounce back," but
I did, yeah.
They went such a murderous speed. And I think the other thing was too, which made it hard for Fargo to back up.
Yeah.
And it also made it easier for Daniel Stackhouse to get in the widest because they're going so fast. Because at the time I thought, gee, very polite of Craig Neal to let him slide in. But when you saw how fast they're going, yeah, well, fair enough. And that's why you can't trust your eyes.
The other good pointer there is that we haven't seen volcanic ash again since, which I'd say is that horse has probably had a bit of trouble getting over that run. And obviously Tough Host has, because he's had 2 goes since, and both of them have been getting worse.
Who rode to volcanic ash that day?
That was Michael D.
Hello.
Race 5 was the Vanity, and that was won by Don't Doubt Mama.
Yeah, well, the interesting thing about that race was the favourite. The betting said it's not going to be winning, and even though it's only been beaten 3/4 of a length, it was never a winning chance. So, good ride by Dwayne Dunn.
What was
not
your
much to
level
say
of
about the
confidence?
race.
What was your level of confidence in that race?
Going in?
Yes.
No, I didn't have a bet in that race early. I waited to see how the betting shaped up, and I ended up backing the winner and Alaskan Rose.
Yeah.
Who never got an opportunity.
Well, the winner's got a good turner for it. We knew that.
Yeah.
The other thing that said to me, and it probably you could almost include Real Love in this bracket as well. I don't do the Cockham in Perth, so you try and patch up. Let's face it. And if you know region, you're going to be advantaged. But I think both with Real Love and sorry, what's the name of it again?
Perfect Perfection.
Perfect Perfection.
Perfect Reflection.
Reflection. It had delicacy form in quotation marks. But it had 6.5 kilos less than it on the day. Delicacy was luckless in the run. On the day, Perfectly Reflection came from well back on a wet track over 1,800 metres.
Yeah.
There was a lot of factors against it, and to me, unlike a couple of them that you've completely accurately pointed out with the Weir stable, to me it was probably just the market telling you, you know what, it's not that fast, a horse, especially if they're not going to go overly quick.
Yeah.
And compared to, because I think on the total was even money.
Yeah.
Because the all-important stakes form.
Yeah.
As opposed to what it's done on the clock. And the professionals were telling you, well, no, it's no superstar in the West.
It's
no.
not.
I think I marked at 360, which I think's ballpark okay. And to me, the delicacy thing gave a little bit of context, but the fact she was unbeaten meant you almost had the market favourite.
Yes.
But she didn't look like a favourite that you wanted to back to me, and the betting said that as well. So.
Sacred Eye, big anchor drop. Big anchor drop. It's going to improve a lot out of that.
Yeah. Race 6 we'll cover in the next part because there's a fair bit to come out of it. So we'll skip over to the Black Caviar Lightning. I'm going to give a little... I'm not good enough to have pearls, but what I do love are nuggets. So I will give everyone a little nugget. The corporates, who include the tab, have a race essentially now to be first out on the Group 1 races, which means that the tab often go up off the nominations. Guys, this can potentially be a real good earn because what you find is they have to pretty much include everything there.
Yes.
And often they're pricing it as if it's a final field. The benefits are no deductions. So if you definitely know your horse is going to that race, if something drops away, you're not copping the deductions for it. So everyone knows that I'm in Team WBS. I'm in the Terra Vista camp. So I managed to get $10 and $2.80, and at that stage there was 13 in the field, so I would have copped 1, 2, 3, and by the time it comes to race day there's 6 horses, and I'm copping $2.80 for it to essentially beat a couple of runners home.
Yeah.
So it's just a little angle that I've been using for the last 12 months or so since they've been doing it, And if you do like taking the early prizes and you do have a handle on the form in the race, it's a really good little angle. And the other thing is, it just continues to affirm that I'm singly one of the most cursed individuals on the face of the earth. Because Damien Oliver's probably the best jockey in Victoria, and then inexplicably he either partially drops and takes a classic catch, or fumbles his whip at a critical stage. And according to all the experts, including a Hall of Fame trainer who knows more than I do, which is fair enough, who said it didn't cost him anything.
Yeah. Don't do a match to it. You've got to name the person you have a crack at.
Well, I already had to go to him after he said, because we'll get to the Palantino thing later, and then I had another go after that because he got beaten a whisker by a thing flying down the outside, and I reckon he did half. I don't know whether he changed strides or whether he copped the signal that, okay, we've hit the post here and I can start.
That horse jumping. What happened was when Ollie juggled the whip, he leant to the right and became unbalanced on the horse. The horse virtually, he might as well, Terra Vista might have looked up at him and said, "What's going on, Damien?" He then changed stride and he conservatively lost half a length. Now for Lee Freedman, who, I love Lee Freedman, but I just can't believe what he said. Lee, just go and watch the replay. That horse changed stride as Damien is juggling the whip, and he completely lost his momentum. If Damien had rode that horse out hands and heels, he wins the race by half a length. Now, on Juppy's other point before we lose track of it, I often target the 8 to 10 horse fields as soon as the acceptances come out. Most of the corporates bet place, paying 3 dividends, and them races, the tab don't, but a lot of the others do. There's often a couple of scratchings in those races, and you can end up in a 6 or 7 horse field with a place bet with 3 dividends and at massively over the odds. So, in line with what Juppy's saying, those small fields, as soon as the acceptances come out, are worth targeting for place betting. Sorry, but the Terra Vista thing, that's all I've got to say on it. Like, he should have won the race. Damien costed the race. He should be getting bad press, and a good attempt to smother for your mate Lee, but I'm not buying it, and I doubt any of our viewers would be copping it either.
And there's just one other quote that I want to cover from that race. Glenn Schofield, Chapanisme, quote, "Shows his Coolmore run wasn't a flash in the pan. I reckon if we went another 50 metres, he might have fought back and won." Give me a spell.
But that is just an extension of what we see in stewards' reports when, like, a jockey will slaughter one and then they'll say, now what did you think, even though they should be, and we'll get to this in part 2, they should be the ones telling the jockey what they should have done. The jockey, it didn't handle the distance, extra distance, shorter distance, firmer track, weather track. And it's a crock of rubbish. So just don't, that's why I've barred listening to anything. So, more to the point, I think, isn't it funny, I think it's called confirmation bias. If you were marking the Lightning, which I believe was a Robbie Waterhouse tactic, and I first heard it when someone who worked for Robbie was on the Punters show a couple of years ago, repricing the Lightning stakes with the information that we just saw.
Yeah, the Gary Clark repricing.
It's Gary Clark. Yeah. I'm positive. I had Exosphere $1.90, and I proudly did. And I don't know if I would change it much. I would certainly have Terra Vista sure than I did.
I suppose it depends if you know he's going to go to the inside or not.
Well, that's what so the point is, my default position is always to go for the fastest horse.
Yep.
Now that doesn't mean, and this is what does your head in doing this caper, it doesn't mean they always win, but it's a good starting point.
Yeah.
So what price or what should I factor in for them having such inept tactics? And someone last night said to me, I sent out best or worst odds on Twitter, and someone said, well, what was he meant to do after 50 metres? And I thought, and it was just a punter, which is bantering, but please tell me that Darley, John O'Shea, James McDonald, their best horse, that they think...
is a starting prospect.
No, but what I'm saying is that they think you float out of the barriers for the first 50 metres and then decide what to do.
Can someone tell me...
Why don't you have a plan
the question
on
is,
jumping?
Well, the first question is, the stewards should explain this. I haven't read the stewards report, maybe they have. What was Craig Newitt doing on Va Pensiero? 2 races later, he did everything humanly possible to get We've Got This from gate 5 to the outside fence. Okay? So an hour earlier, Craig, you hadn't yet twigged that the inside was completely no good and uncompetitive. I mean, what were you doing going to the inside on Va Pensiero? Were you instructed? Why? Why did Craig Newitt all of a sudden realise in race 8 that you have to go to the outside? And in race 9 you realised, race 7 you didn't have a clue. Like you're watching the 2-year-old race. So if Bar Pensiero, as he should have, goes to the outside, then Exosphere would have gone across with him. It wouldn't have been. This wouldn't have happened. I almost feel a bit sorry for James McDonald because he sort of got pushed there, and then he had to make a split decision, and he wasn't brave enough to go where all the other where he should have gone.
There's two things here. One is, the brave, but the other thing is he elected not to use speed on Exosphere because he is fast enough to go faster than Bar Pensiero.
Yes.
But
I don't know about out of the gates. Not for the first 50 metres. Maybe
his debut at Rose Hill was unbelievable against the benchmark and all that early. But anyway, but what I'm saying is you've got to have tactics early. And the second thing is, I don't know if Craig Newitt did this, and I'm not accusing Craig Newitt of doing this, but I am saying that jockeys often, when they're on the 100 to 1 shot, do the right thing and actually get out the road. And I actually think he was trying to do that. So he just, which is not saying that they're doing anything wrong.
That's no good. I backed Bar Pensiero at 100 to 1. I priced at $34. I mean, he should have been going to the front and the outside fence.
Or the inside fence.
And no, the inside had no chance. The inside was like at least 3 lengths slower. Like you were giving away. You might as well not have even competed if you were going to the inside. You had no chance doing that.
So we mixed a couple of things here, but I'm more than confident now, having seen what I saw, that I was right in saying Exosphere was the fastest horse. Well, he just didn't give him a chance, nor did the circumstance when Bar Pensiero, but everything else.
The question I have coming out of the race is, James McDonald walked the track and talked taxi with Peter Ellis before the race.
That worked a treat. So the second
so
everyone knows Peter Ellis is the guy that you want to speak to. He's made the difference to the Weir stable. Well, did J-Mac not listen to him? What happened?
No, I reckon actually the bloke who tweeted to me was spot on. That he thought, well, I'll just drift out the first 50 metres, get him more comfortable, instead of what Dwayne Dunn did was say, here's my decision.
Yeah.
On jumping. Now, it's funny because the Sydney punters have a bit of a thing about Dunny, but I think when he's not leading, he's world class. That's how good he is. And he made the decision on jumping to where to go. James McDonald did not make that decision on jumping. The horse jumped well. Then he goes for 50 minutes, and then he's in Shitsville following a 100-1 shot. But by extension, the other point I want to make, if you back Chautauqua, well done. Yeah. You've collected. I haven't. Were you on Chautauqua? No. So, but I think it's called confirmation bias. He won through bad tactics, Exosphere, and Ollie fumbling his whip on Terra Vista. And he won by an eyelash.
Yep.
Don't tell me $2.60 was his right price.
No.
You started this by asking about repricing, Ralph.
Yeah.
I mean, I marked them $3.20 a pair, Chautauqua and Exosphere, and I think I marked Terra Vista $6.50, Joey.
Yep.
I think I had them too far apart. If I'm repricing it, I'm probably marking them about 5 to 2 a pair, and Terra Vista 7 to 2. Because Terra Vista was the one that was certain to be in a winning position.
And the market told you that too.
Yeah.
There's one other point with Terra Vista. Synthetic hoof fella last spring.
Yep.
This was his first top quality dry track run since he won the Darling. So he's back.
Yep.
I don't think, the horse always race to race, let's face it, but everything would say, because that's an important factor.
Yeah.
Because all his previous good form in 2015 was on tracks with genuine give.
Yeah.
Now there's nowhere to hide. He's backing down.
The one thing also is I don't think those SPs, the finishing positions, anything about that race is helpful for the new market.
No.
You've got to start from scratch there and look back at their previous meetings at 1,200 metres. That race is unhelpful.
Well, that's the other thing. If Chautauqua runs and smashes them, everyone will say that proves that Lightning. But he's not a 1,000-metre horse.
No.
None of them were really.
But as you say, it start again. Mark him when he's 1,200 form. Well, he's the benchmark in the country.
He's got to be. He's got to get 58 in that. He's got to be the top 8 in the new market. Doesn't he?
I hope he gets 68, and then we can have a bet.
I'd like to see that too. Race 8 was the Ascot Racecourse Trophy. Dan Zephyr won again.
Well, can I say, about a month ago on the show, when he won at Flemington, I was scratching my head wondering why so many other horses went poorly in that race when he was heavily backed and bolted in. I said, either Dan Zephyr is now ready for a stakes race, or a lot of runners in that race went badly. Well, the truth is Dan Zephyr's ready to compete at a good level. That horse is absolutely airborne. He is not cheated one bit. He's done everything the hard way, and he has produced big numbers there on Saturday. So.
If you don't do times, he did this at Flemington, his first win. He did that at Caulfield because they walked, and then he's done this. He's actually eclipsed what he did at Flemington, so that was huge.
Yeah.
I found underestimation 850. He starts 480. Expecting him to spring back for New Year's Day. He almost did.
Yeah.
But that's how well Dan Zephyr went.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting there going, oh, God, I've got that wrong. But actually, he improved his speed, he improved everything, and Dan Zephyr's still out. So it probably tells you Devan's in for a ripping prep.
Yeah.
So the one point I'll make about that race, it was not a race for first uppers. Devan's run is enormous.
There's one other first upper, yeah.
So he might not go around again in the autumn. He might have to wait for spring for him, but wow.
Yeah, he's a good horse. Kengewood.
Yeah.
Because Kengewood's got no turn of foot.
Yep.
And the other one too was Charmed Harmony. So exactly as you said, both those horses are first up. They're speed horses. Mark again. Speed horses are the most vulnerable early in their prep.
Yeah.
They were fantastic runs, yet they were beaten a bit, and they might end up. Maybe they're still half a run away, but they're in for big preps.
That race is a good platform, but they'll probably need 21 days.
And the last was won by We've Got This.
Yeah, not much to talk about there. Outside barriers dominated. If you include We've Got This becoming an outside barrier because of the excellent ride by Craig Newitt, in complete contrast to his disastrous performance on Var Pensiero.
Yeah, and just finally on Craig Newitt, and because Blue Diamond is on the favourite.
Yep.
Remember we said a couple of weeks ago, he needs to stop. As an AFL team, it was Tommy Hafey. Is stop finessing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that hit on We've Got This. That's Craig at his best. He just went buggy you. You get to the outside and going as hard as he can late, and he won the race. And that's if he doesn't try to be cute, because I don't think he's got the tools to be cute like some of the greats.
Yep.
He's a very good, but he's not great when he's got his confidence up, and his aggression is what gets him that level. And I think that's how he can win a Blue Diamond. If he brings that.
I think Craig Newitt's a good assertive rider,
Yeah.
as long as he's got the confidence in himself and he's being assertive. Like, as soon as he starts second guessing himself, he gets himself into all sorts of pickles. So
that's our look back at Flemington. We'll be back after a break, and we will talk about
Part 3.
Yeah, part 3.